Graphs and image processing. When you first open UCANCAM, you will see the Design Central window here, and you can choose the size of your active area here from a list of presets or set your own. You can also select the orientation of the active area to portrait or landscape. And you can also select the origin point to be at the bottom left or the center. Selecting the origin point will determine where you will enter the coordinates. For example, selecting a rectangle, instead of drawing the rectangle, you can also enter the coordinates for the rectangle. For example, 150, 150 for the first rectangle, and enter the other corner as 300, 300. You can also use your Design Central to edit them. For example, selecting the rectangle, and you can see the width and length as well as the positioning of the rectangle. You can change them to your settings, and if you untick proportion, you can change it as you wish without keeping the original object's proportion. To select multiple objects, hold Shift and click the objects. Alternatively, you can draw a box around them, or hold Control, click and drag. When you see the blue dotted line, everything the blue dotted line intersects with will be selected. There are many shortcuts which you can use to make drawing easier. For example, to rotate the graphs, select it and press Shift Space, and it will rotate the graph by 90 degrees. You can rotate multiple objects as well. By pressing Shift Space, they will rotate along the center axis here. To zoom in and zoom out, press Page Up to zoom in and Page Down to zoom out. Alternatively, you can scroll on your mouse, or if you wish to zoom in on everything, press F8. If you wish to zoom in on a certain area, you can press F6 and draw a box to the area you wish to see. If you need to refresh the screen, press F5. UCANCAM has an abundant symbol library. You can select the one you want, and if you wish to insert one, simply click and drag into the active area, and you can modify it like any other graph or vector. If you wish to modify them differently without using the Design Central, you can go to Transform, and there are many options for you to select here, such as Scale, you can keep the X and Y ratio, and you can also change them according to percentage or enter your own numbers here. You can also choose the base point. Keep original will keep the original object if you wish to do so. And as you can see, the object has been modified. You can also change them in the Design Central. To modify these graphs, select them, go to Modify, and you have another list to modify these graphs. Go to Modify and Trim. And to delete some of the lines, hover your mouse over the part where you wish to delete the lines, and when you see it has become the blue dotted line and the scissors, left click and you will trim the objects. To connect the lines again, hover your mouse over where the line should be. When you see the mouse is like this with the dotted lines, left click and they will connect. To separate the lines or break them, hold Control when hovering a mouse over them. And when you see it has become the hammer with the blue dotted lines, left click and you can see that it has become disconnected from the original. If you wish to stop editing, you can right click or press escape. Let's look at some other options, such as offset. Using the symbol as an example, you can set the distance, and you can set the direction of the offset to be outer or inner, and you can change the type of corner the offset will have. And you can see that it has created the offset according to your specifications. You can also align objects. PicoCam has a locate and an align option. For example, hold Alt and move your mouse over the object until you see this green square by one of those corners. Now drag it until you see the green square again, and it will connect the two corners of these objects. This will also work if the object has been rotated. And you can connect the objects by doing this. And instead of just connecting the starting and end points, you can also connect the sides. For example, selecting the middle of the side and connecting it to the other side of the square. This should allow you to move precisely. You can also duplicate the objects. For example, select the object, go to Modify, Array Duplication, and go to Rectangular Duplication. Here, by dragging the black square and changing the size of the rectangle, you can change the size of the array. If you wish for the object to be duplicated within the same size, but without changing the array, you can hold Control and move the black square again, and this will change the space between the objects. Alternatively, you can change them in the Design Central. And you can also change the space between them. And you can change the angle they are duplicated over. If you wish to rotate the objects, and you wish to rotate them according to a certain parameter, you can change the move step here. For example, right now, every time you press a key in your direction pad, it will move the objects by 1 millimeter. If you change that to 20 and press the direction pad, it will move the objects by 20 millimeters each time. And if you wish to rotate the objects by 5 degrees each step, or 30 degrees, select the objects again, hold Control, and press either left or right direction key to rotate the objects. And as you can see, they will be determined by the move or rotate step. However, if you wish to create a circular array duplication, you can do that as well. Select the object, go to Modify, Array Duplication, Circular Duplication, and you can see that it will be duplicated. And you can see that it will be duplicated. And you can see that it will be duplicated in a circular fashion. And once again, you can set your parameters in the Design Central. You can select the center point or pick it. And change the total amount of arrays duplicated. You can change the angle that they're duplicated over as well. For example, instead of duplicating over a 360-degree angle, you can duplicate it over only 180 degrees. This will form a semicircle. As you can see, the objects were duplicated over As you can see, the objects were duplicated over a semicircle, and each of them rotating along the path. UCanCam has artistic transformation options built in, such as perspective distortion, envelope distortion, push and pull distortion, twist distortion, and shadow distortion. Here we can demonstrate each of these distortion options. Envelope distortion. You can choose how the object is. You can choose how the object will look like by changing how it is enveloped. Push and pull distortion. Oh. Twist distortion. And shadow distortion. If you wish to import an object into UCanCam, go to File and Import. Here, select the file type that you wish to use, such as image files, JPEG files, bitmap, or any other file type that you see here. Some of them will be compatible with UCanCam, and you can start editing them straight away. For those that are not, press Ctrl R, which is the hotkey for importing a file. Press F6 to select the area to zoom in on. You can use image tracing. For image tracing, select the object you've just imported. Go to File, Image Processing, and Image Tracing. Here, set your parameters. You can press Default to have the default settings, or you can change them by yourself. If you wish to preview the object, press this button here and click Preview, and it will draw the preview of what the image tracing would look like. You can make the image clearer by increasing the level of Desfickel, which will decrease the amount of things traced until you are left with the most basic outlines. Click OK and move the object away from the area, and you can see that the image has been traced. And you can edit them as you like. And that is the end of the tutorial. Thank you.